So there's a very funny story in the Bible about a man called Job. And basically, the story about Job is that he's this man who's got everything going for him. He's very wealthy. He's got a beautiful family. And, basically, he is what in today's world would be a man living the American dream, right? And all of a sudden, everything that could go wrong goes wrong in Job's life. And a lot of Christians have taught this story in different angles, but one of the things that is very fascinating about it, which I learned early on, is that Job at some point says, "The thing that I feared the most has happened to me." I'll post that scripture, which scripture it is, in the comments below for those that might want any exact, you know, reference. But he says, "The thing that I feared the most has happened to me," and it's so funny because this is what the law of attraction is all about. The thing that I feared the most, which happened to him, is that his world came crumbling down, and it's something that a lot of people struggle with when they're at the pinnacle of success, at the pinnacle of wealth, health, pinnacle of I guess even happiness in relationships, right? When you're at the very top, people struggle with the thought of, what if everything comes crashing down? What if it all, you know, falls down? And that's what Job was having as his biggest fear. And indeed, it happened. Why did it happen? Because Job called it into his life. Job attracted it into his life, right? By having that fear, he attracted it. And we attract what we fear. Not just only what we love, but we also attract what we fear. And when you have a fear that is so strong, so dominating, so domineering, to the point where nothing else is in your mind as much as this thing is, then that thing is going to come to you. You start seeing it everywhere, and sooner or later it will manifest. That's what happened in Job's life. And it's something that a lot of people as well have a problem with. A lot of people do. They have this situation where they keep on having a fear and repeating that same fear in their minds, imagining it, seeing themselves living in it. And with time, it comes to pass. And then they think, why did God do this to me? God didn't do it to you. Listen, if anything, God put in place principles that rule the world. God is not the one who made the sun come out today, okay? If anything, he made it come out the very first day he created it. And from that day, the sun comes out by principle, by law. So that's how it works. God is not the one who's inviting that thing into your life, but it's you who's applying a principle of the law of attraction and attracting things into your life because you are constantly focusing on it. Whether that focus is a good focus in terms of something you love, or it's a bad focus in terms of something you're afraid of, you're focusing on it and it's going to come to you. And I think that's very important for people to know that what you focus on, you attract. Whether what you're focusing on is you're focusing on it because you love it, or you're focusing on it because you're so afraid of it, right? Whether you're focusing on it because you want it to happen, or you're focusing on it because you don't want it to happen. Yeah, I hope that makes a lot of sense when I put it in that way. So you might be focusing on something because you want it to happen, and you might be focusing on something because you don't want it to happen. But whatever the case is, the law doesn't discriminate on whether you want it to happen or you don't want it to happen. It just realizes that that's where your mind is focused on right now. That's where your energy is focused on. So you want it, and then it gets delivered into your life. So you gotta be careful about that, about what are your biggest fears? What are you most afraid of? And look at changing all those things and not focusing on that, and rather focusing on what you really want, and putting all of your mental energy, your spiritual energy towards that.